What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 4 already. We're going to jump right into 165 through heavyweight, our predictions. We did 125 through 157 last week. Thank you guys for watching if you watched. This week, we're also going to talk about some wrestle-off results. As you guys know, it's that time of year. And then at the end of the episode, we're going to talk about some of the competition this weekend. As you guys know, it is opening weekend. The show is brought to you by Barbarian Apparel. I got the Barbarian Apparel hat on. Tyler's got the windbreaker on. It's the best apparel in the game,
That time
in the
of the
business.
year.
It's that time of the year. Corby's got a different shirt on. Corby, oh, he brought it back. Let's go.
I almost didn't notice.
Clap it up. There you go. All right. There you go. Corby, how you doing?
Forgot to have my company issue uniform on.
Yeah, how you doing,
So-
Corby?
Great, man. I got my company issue uniform on. It was hanging out up in front of me. It's been pressed. She's ready to go. So yeah, man, I'm ready. Tyler's got his on, and now we just got to get you boys some, and we'll be ready to go. I think
Yes, sir.
we can get Josh to give us some maybe some red ones or some black ones. I don't know, maybe snazz them up a little bit. But
Yeah, if we ever name
how you
the
boys
show,
doing
maybe
out
we
there in
can get-
Iowa?
Good. If we ever name
Mhm.
the show, maybe we can get a custom, button down shirt with that, with the name on it. But Jake,
Really.
how's
uniform.
things going? You look like you just got done with wrestling practice. Is that what just happened or no?
We had wrestling practice earlier this afternoon. Girls season started. Wrestling with Skylar Slade, Super 32 champ. She's going to Pan Am's here and tomorrow, so should be fun.
Awesome. All right. So wrestle-offs were last weekend. Obviously, the Iowa State wrestle-off was the one I probably paid the most attention to. I know you guys were in the chat talking about the Ohio State wrestle-off. Let's start there. Let's start with Ohio State. Jesse Mendez is the talk of the town, it seems like, this offseason. He's one of the biggest recruits in a long time, probably. He gets a pin over one of the Kuntz brothers. I'm not sure which one, at 133 pounds. Corby, did that surprise you at all to see that, or is that kind of how you saw that going?
No, I didn't think he was going to come out and pin him like he did. So, mark me impressed. I mean, I knew Mendez, right? We've seen it. He's college ready, right? Coming out. So his hand fighting's right there. But yeah, pinning him like he did, definitely a shock to me. And then the other one was Karchula, right? Karchula and Hepner, I think. It come down to riding time, 1-1. Karchula couldn't get away. Hepner got riding time. Now, Hepner did certify at 157, so there's a possibility that he could come down and challenge, Patty Gallagher. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, I don't read too much into it. I mean, I saw Devin Carter lose a wrestle off too, so it's not really, it happens. Not a big thing. The No Feldman, I've heard a little dinged up. And from what I've been told right now, it's Orndorff. I mean, Orndorff's, it's not like Feldman's right on Orndorff's heels or anything like that. So it's going to be Orndorff this year, and I think Orndorff's going to have a good year.
All right, Jake, over the weekend, Iowa State finished off the wrestle-offs. It's the first time that I've seen them do kind of multiple days, at least that spread out between the, let's call it the challenge bracket and the finals. The big talk discussion was a win by Casey Swiderski, but when you got jerks and a-holes like myself pumping up an 18-year-old kid telling you guys that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, if he doesn't go out and absolutely obliterate his teammate, you're going to get some flack. You're going to get some people who are going to say, are you pumping the brakes on this kid yet? I will admit, maybe I've pumped the brakes once since this result, but I'm also probably not taking too much stock into it. You are somebody who competed at Wartburg in college, so you're familiar with these college wrestle-offs. You're familiar with these freshmen coming in. What did you think about this 6-5 decision that Swiderski had over Jacob Frost?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that we should look into too much. I think when you train with someone for 2 or 3 months in the summer and the fall, like, things will get closer over time, and you might beat them up in practice, but everyone's going to be a little bit tighter in a match. So I'm not too worried about it. I talked to a few people that were there. I don't think it's anything to worry about. I still think Swiderski's a dude. I think he's only going to get better as the year goes on. I'm honestly more ready for him to wrestle Zargo this weekend. I think that's a bigger test than Jacob Frost. I know a 6-5 victory might not look impressive, but if he goes out and beats Zargo, I think that's going to be a really good win for him, and something that he can build on and move forward from here. I think actually the match I was most surprised by, and I know we talked about it in the chat, was Gayton pinning Broderson. I don't think, maybe recruiting wise, Gayton probably is a bigger recruit, obviously, than Broderson, but Broderson's been in the college room a couple years. I know Gayton was losing when he got the pin, but I mean, I don't know what Iowa State's going to do. I would assume they still redshirt. Zach, you maybe heard some other things. I think Gayton's still going to hang out in redshirt for a little while, but that match really did surprise me. I thought he was going to lose to Broderson.
Yeah, I don't know. What do I say here? I think that Broderson will probably be the guy. I think that they know that MJ Gayton is a guy that is, the sky's the limit for him, right? And so 165 seems to be more his weight. So I think he's probably going to go down. I wouldn't really expect to see him wrestle this year outside of the 5 competitions. That's one thing that people are kind of forgetting about. And Corby, you'd be better to explain this whole 5 competitions and not burn your red shirt thing. Can you briefly summarize that for us? How does that work?
Yeah, so basically, first semester, you cannot wrestle unattached. Okay, so if you go to an open, okay, you're attached. Okay, your team has to pay for it. You can do 5 events. Okay, so you can wrestle in open is considered one event. A tournament, a 2-day tournament, still considered one event, from what I understand. And then you could do 4 duels after that. The reason they did this was the way they've got it passed was student athletes, first semester in college, they don't want them traveling and missing school for competition, get their feet wet, in the classroom before they go travel and do things, right? But to me, like, no kid usually missed class to go to an open on a Saturday, right? That never happened. So that's kind of how they got it passed, right? So you can wrestle 5 competitions throughout the whole season and not burn your red shirt. Okay. Basically, that's the golden number, 5. Every true freshman in the country can go out and wrestle 5 times without it counting against their eligibility. They can still redshirt next year. Now, where it gets a little tricky is, these opens, right? Now people are like, well, it has to be an event that's on your schedule. Not technically, because I can send, as a university, as a program, you can send 6 kids to an open without it technically counting as a date on your schedule. So some of these kids you could send 6 kids to an open this weekend. If you're Iowa State, you could pay for those 6 freshmen to go to an open, not burn their red shirt, as Iowa State's down in Florida wrestling. So that gives kind of some understanding to people on what's going on with that. So look for 5 for the freshmen. If they wrestle more than 5, then in the first semester for sure, because you can't be unattached. Now, there are some opens in the second semester that they could go wrestle unattached at.
Got it. Yeah, I think some people were confused by some of that, myself included. I know I shot you a text earlier this week kind of asking how that worked, and that's something to definitely keep in mind. So let's move on to our predictions for the 165-pound weight class. Now, before we get, I don't know what the word would be, I don't want to say crucified, but before you guys listen to this, just know that there are some studs returning. So if you don't think that we're giving out the craziest picks, these guys are really freaking good, and I think that we all agree. But there is some absolute nonsense that these guys have put in the docket. So we'll get into that. 165, though. Corby, why don't you tell us what you think is going to happen? This is the most stacked weight class that I can remember in a very long time. We got 3 NCAA champions. at this weight class. We got Carr going up. We got O'Toole returning. We got the champion from 2 years ago and Griffith coming back. What do you got going on at 165, Corby?
Give me O'Toole. I like O'Toole Griffith final. I like O'Toole. Just I like him. I like the kid. I think he wrestles in all positions. I think he's going to be hard to beat. Give me O'Toole. Then my 3-4. It's a match we're probably going to see this weekend. We got Mean Dean and Carr, right? So we're going to see what happens there this weekend possibly. And then I've got Kennedy and Amin for 5th and 6th, and then Karchla and Facundo. A guy to look out for that I don't have placing that it wouldn't shock me at all if he did is Peyton Hall, West Virginia. Now Patrick Kennedy beat him in the offseason in freestyle. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that would be for me. I like Yant too, to be around a 12 guy from UNI. I like Yant. I think he works hard. I think he's up and coming, and or not up and coming because he's been out there, but I think he's gonna keep a rise in the ranks as the year goes on. And I like Yant to be around a 12 guy, as well as Ramirez and McCoy. So yeah. What do you like, Zach, or what this weight? You got Iowa State? Any Iowa State guys in here for you?
Yeah, I'm going O'Toole
Mr.
as
Carr,
well.
maybe?
I know that sounds crazy that I'm picking O'Toole over Carr. I think Carr's going to look a lot better this year. However, in my opinion, I think Keegan O'Toole can win the Hodge this year. I think he can kind of follow the footsteps of his mentor and Ben Askren, and I think O'Toole is really going to open up this year. I think he's going to win the Hodge. That's my prediction for the Hodge. It's kind of hard to win the Hodge without winning an NCAA title. So I'm going O'Toole to win it. I'm going Carr right behind him, and I'm going Griffith getting third. Jake, shoot me some bail here. Do you agree or disagree? What do you have at 165?
Yeah, I'm with you on the top 3 for sure. I think O'Toole is going to win it. I think he is only getting better every year. He's a guy who's made consistent improvements. So, I mean, he's just a stud. I think he's the best guy in this weight class. And like you said earlier, this weight class is loaded. I mean, David Carr and Shane Griffith, both NCAA champs. I think he's, not way better than them, but I do think he's better. I've got Carr getting second. I've got Griffith getting third. I've got Hamidi getting fourth. So, I think we're all pretty much the same on the top 4. And then after that, I've got Amin beating Kennedy for 5th and Karchla beating Peyton Hall for 7th. So, I think me and Corby are pretty much the same on all those outside of I got Peyton Hall. He's got, I can't remember who he picked, but I know I like Peyton Hall in that 8th spot. He had a win over Kennedy last year in folk style, which was a crazy match at the Southern Scuffle. So he's a guy who obviously is a tough out for everybody. So, I mean, super tough weight. I'm with him on the Yant and Ramirez talk. I'm also interested to see how Garrett Ninehouse does down at 165 for Oklahoma. I know he transferred from Purdue, so that's a guy I'm extremely interested in. I don't know that he's a guy who can, push for top 8, but if he's a round of 12 guy, maybe upsets someone at the national tournament. I feel pretty good about him making adjustments at Oklahoma. Tyler, where are we at with you?
Pretty much those first 4 guys are all interchangeable. For me, I got O'Toole and Griffith in the finals. Carr and Amin for 3rd and 4th. And then really the only people that I had that are different than the current top 8 are I had Kennedy and Facundo in 7th and 8th.
Yeah, I think Kennedy's somebody that people are not thinking about as much. We haven't really seen a bunch from him yet. I know he had that close loss to Alex Marinelli, but I feel like I get roasted when I bring up close losses. So we'll see. I tell you what, I know I keep bringing up December 4th, and you know what? The Hawkeyes are getting to me in the Discord chat, Corby. I know you're in the Discord streets as well, but they were trying to say that the rivalry doesn't matter, and I want to say that is fake news. So just thought I would say that. Why I'm saying that is Kennedy and Carr. I can't wait for that this year. It's going to be great. I can't wait. 165 is probably, I mean, can you guys think of a weight? When's the last time a weight class has been this stacked? What comes to mind for me is 174 with Andrew Howe and Perry and Caldwell and Brown and Kokesh, that 74-pound weight class. I can't think of anything else with that many champions in it at one time. Corby?
Yeah, years ago we had a 33 that was ridiculous as well. But no, this 65 is definitely stacked, as well as you're stacked up top, but then like you said, you got a lot of young kids coming into this weight too, that you got the Kennedy, right? You got Facundo, you got some young kids in there as well. So yeah, this is, to me, the weight to watch. My Probably the most excited weight of the year for me, it would be this weight class. So yeah, very excited for it. And yeah, I think it's going to definitely be the best weight. And like you said, if how about this, if O'Toole goes undefeated, wins that weight class, like you said, I mean, Hodge, I mean, it's tough weight. It'd be unbelievable if he did it, right? Because he's gonna face a lot of these guys. So I'm interested to see his development. I hear he's I mean, when you hear kid like him's added, some things to his game, you're like, well, how could he have? But I hear he's added some things to his game, so I'm ready to see it.
All right, moving right along to 174. Another tough weight class. It's a traditionally tough weight class. It's always got some hammers in it, which of course it's Division I college wrestling, so why wouldn't it? But at 174, I feel like we all have the same top two guys. I feel like a lot of wrestling minds would have the same top two guys, both national champions. So another multi-national champion weight class. I'm interested to hear your guys' picks. I'll go ahead and start off because I've only got the top two guys written down here, Starachi and Lewis. I feel like Carter Starachi, his mouth has written a lot of checks that he's going to cash this season. Just came off of a bronze medal over at U23s. He's got a new training partner in Kyle Dake. Not sure if he's happy about it or not, but either way, it's going to make him better. I am a big Lewis fan, but I'm picking Carter Starachi for his third on his way to his fourth or fifth. Who knows at this point? I got Carter Starachi. Jake, what are we looking at?
Yeah, I'm with you on Starachi. You got the Penn State effect there. They're just going to win close matches. I think Lewis is athletically gifted enough to beat Starachi, but we just haven't seen it yet. So it wouldn't shock me if Lewis beat him, but I'm not picking it. A guy who I think is going to get third is Labriola. He's been around the block. This got to be like his fifth or sixth year. But he's a guy who's always competitive, always in tight matches with those top guys like Starachi and Kimmerer and guys like that. But he hasn't shown that he can really get it done. So I've got him getting third. Like I said earlier or at the last show, Ethan Smith, I've got him getting fourth. I think Ohio State's going to have a really good year this year. And then after that, I think you got a guy like Plott or Lout from North Carolina who are going to wrestle in that fifth, sixth place match. And then I'm going to be biased here, and I'm going to pick DeVos and Runyon to wrestle in the seventh place match.
Let's go, Rams.
Two kids that I coached in high school, also two guys who have had success at every level that they've been at.
Hold on a second. I don't like to interrupt very much, but DeVos versus Ram, who you got?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
No, I'll let them decide that when they wrestle this year. But I've watched it in the room plenty of times, so I can tell you it's going to be awesome. But yeah, those are two guys I think are going to finally make a breakthrough. And then a guy who I also really like is Foca out of Cornell. I think he's a guy who can do a lot of damage. He's probably not beating Starachi or Lewis, but he can compete with everybody else in this weight. I'm pretty confident of that. It's an exciting weight. It's not as deep as 65 as far as like your top end talent and middle talent, but it's a weight with a lot of guys who can do a ton of damage. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. Shout out to the Southeast Polk wrestling team. Corby, what do you got?
Man, I got Carter as well. I think it's his weight. To me, he's one of the best pound for pound guys, I think, in college. Very impressed by him. I think it's his weight to lose. Actually, Jake and I got the same top 4, and then Lewis, Labs, and Smith, and then he's got Plot. I went with Lout. Now this weekend, Lewis and Lout, 2 All-Americans, are both registered for the Southeast Open. Okay, so that's a match to watch out for. We could see that this weekend. And then I got a couple guys that he mentioned one in Foca. I got Foca getting 7, but I got O'Malley. I got O'Malley in there. I got O'Malley getting 6th. O'Malley Drexel kid, very talented, upper body throws. Got McFadden in there rolling with him. He's right there by the Penn RTC. Look out for O'Malley. And then I got Ruth. You guys remember there was a guy by the name of Ed Ruth, and this is his brother. His brother's at Illinois now, and I got him getting 8th. I think he's going to be a load. He was originally a Lehigh commit, and then now he ends up in Illinois. And I think he gets 8th, and then I like Mako, Hastings, Plot, and Turley for my round of 12. I think Plot coming, back again, 74, going to be a handful. Wouldn't shock me if, I've got Plot round of 12 right now. Wouldn't shock me if he did get up in there. And one guy right now, I'm going to tell you that hasn't been mentioned yet, and he's an 8th-year guy. Okay, that's why I didn't bring him into the mix yet. Romero. Okay. Romero, Utah Valley. Okay. This guy's been his 8th season in college. Okay. So if he can make it to the national tournament healthy, look out. I didn't put him in there because he's been his 8th year, right? He's just been injured the last couple times through. So I hope he can stay healthy. If he does, look out. He's going to be a force. I just couldn't put him down there because I just always bandaged up. So,
yeah, I was a little disappointed when I saw that I was the only one who did put Ramiro in my top 8. I got him in at 7th, but I think it's just because I think his last run he had a really good one, and then that name just kind of stuck with me. So when I saw he was back, I wanted to put him in there.
I feel like he's somebody that a lot of people have issue with. I remember when he got seeded pretty generously that one year, people were pretty upset about that. But he's been a gamer for a while now.
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years.
That is crazy.
All right. 184, moving right along here. Corby, your mic is hot. I'll let you keep going. I feel like we're going to have a lot of similar picks in this one, but go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, man, give me Brooks. Brooks and Hoagie. I got Brooks and Hoagie final. Give me Brooks. And then I got Keckeisen, Romero. And then I've got Bolin and Coleman. And then I've got for 7th and 8th, I got Assad, and I got Brian Saldano, true freshman, Rutgers. This kid's gonna be funky. He's gonna. This is a kid. I tell you right now, if the country doesn't know who he is, you will. And he's gonna be very exciting to watch. He's funky, good on the mat. I got him coming in being an All-American. And then I got Jonathan Lowe Munoz. Now we got Fine Silver transferring into Michigan too, going up to 184. We're going to see how that pans out. And then I got Montalvo, who's right out here by me now at Arizona State. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out. Now that we're on Arizona State, I know we're at 84, but throw this in here. Ja'Cory Teamer out, torn pec. Not sure if he'll be back this year. It sounded like he might not be. If he's not, then look for a medical. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Jake, 184. I don't see a whole lot of differences, but you do have a different runner-up. So go ahead and let us know what your thought process was there.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on the Panther train. I picked Runyon to place, so I'm going to pick Keckeisen in the finals. I just like the way he wrestles, and maybe I'm a little biased as I get to watch him maybe a little bit more than Hidley being in Iowa, but, man, he wrestles hard. He's hard-nosed. He's always a tough out. I think him and Hidley we watched it last year, awesome match. So, I got Keckeisen getting it done. I think UNI is in need of another NCAA finalist, and I think Keckeisen's the guy to do it. I know Doug is really high on him, just listening to some interviews from their media day. But I've got Heidley getting third. I've got Romero getting fourth, just like Corby. I've got Coleman beating Bolin. And then I've got Assad and Munoz in that 7th and 8th place match. So pretty high on Assad. I know he's healthy right now, at least from what I hear. I think he's been a little banged up over the last couple of years. So I think we're going to see a different Assad hopefully at the beginning of the year. I do like Saldano, like Corby said. I remember actually watching him as a freshman. High Point came to Cheesehead. He wrestled Cade DeVos at 145, or no, sorry, 160. Freshman, I was like, oh, Cade's going to kill this kid. Cade's a senior. And, he kept it really close, really funky, really good. What do you call it? Gator bacon. Dalen Ness used to do super good there. So he's always a tough out. So that's a guy I'm really interested in. And then, like Corby said, Fine Silver, Michigan, they do really well with those upper middle weights. So that's a guy who I think can surprise some people. I know he's, maybe hasn't had the career that would say he's going to be an All-American yet, but he's a guy who's always a tough out. So should be interesting.
No,
Tyler and I both have the same. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Zach. No, you go ahead.
Tyler and I both have the same picks at 184, so I'll save you guys the time and effort there. We both picked we both picked Brooks over Heidley, so we'll move right along to 197. Corby, was there something that you wanted to add there before we move along?
Yeah, I was just thinking. My brain. I'm sitting here, and I'm the names we missed but that weren't mentioned at 74. We didn't pick Romero, and another name I'm just sitting here thinking that nobody brought up, and I don't know if it's maybe we're all injury or whatever, but nobody brought up Nelson Brands at 74. I know he got injured. I know there are rumors. It could be the year. I don't think it's going to be the year. I think we're going to see Nelson back. I would assume, for the Big Ten season. So that's just something that, I thought that, we should probably throw out there.
Did Tom talk about that at all at Media Day? Do you know?
I don't remember it. I don't remember hearing him talk about it, but maybe I'm off. But from my understanding is he's going to be back by the end of the year.
Right on. All right, 197 here. I'll go first. I know I'm not written down first, but you guys always know I got to have at least one homer pick here. But I don't think this is as crazy as other people think. I've got the Cardinal and the gold glasses, but Tyler and I saw this young gentleman at the mall the other day. He was getting it on, you know what I'm saying? He was holding it down, you know what I'm saying? And I think that Younger, as the season went on last year, that's who I'm picking, by the way. I'm picking Younger Bastida over Max Dean in the finals. Younger got better as the year went on. He started pinning people. He has a ton of incredible, great wins. Max Dean has won his past 4 out of 8 matches by only 1 takedown, I believe. So Younger's a takedown machine. I think he is a lot of problems for somebody like Max Dean. I think that he is somebody that is Max Dean lost to Cam Caffey last year, and I think Younger Bastida is a better version of him. So I'm going to pick Younger Bastida to win the entire thing. I'm picking Max Dean to get second place. Jake, the floor is yours.
Well, I know that before we started this podcast, I would make guest appearances with Zach on just some videos, and I did an NCAA prediction last year, and I picked Warner to actually win 197 last year in our picks. I'm not going to be that crazy this year. I'm going to go Dean to beat Warner. I think just watching the last couple matches, I think, whatever. Maybe Dean's figured him out. Maybe it's the Penn State thing. Maybe they just always win those tough matches. But I'm going to go with my brain here instead of my gut and go Dean over Warner. A guy that I'm also really excited for this year is Elam out of Missouri. I think he's due for a good year. I know he was banged up last year. And then a guy who's coming up from 84. You know, you got Bernie Truax out of Cal Poly. I think he's going to get fourth place here. I think he's a guy who has a super high pace. He's going to give some of these 97 pounders fits. Then I got Younger. I got Beard getting seventh. And then two guys I'm also interested in are Nino Bonacorsi, former NCAA finalist, and then Tanner Sloan, who just made the world finals in the U23s. I think he's a guy who's probably due to be in the top 8. I don't know that he's going to do it, but he's a guy who I think has put the time and effort in, and I think he's, you know, maybe going to sneak his way on the podium here.
Are your picks, and are like you have it Dean, Warner, Elam, Truex, and then Younger. So is that in order of the place that you think is going to happen?
Yeah, that's how I kind of was envisioning it when I went through the different rankings and everything.
So
not,
you have Dean, Warner, Elam, Truex, and then Younger fifth.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking. I was checking.
Hey,
I mean,
I
Younger.
hope I'm wrong.
West.
I've got Younger on my fantasy team. I hope that I am very, very wrong.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's all right. Corby, go ahead.
You know, Jake said, you know, his pick last year and he didn't want to, you know, get crazy and whatever this year. Well, you know what? I'm going Warner. Give me Warner, Illinois boy, Washington, Illinois. Give him to me this year, getting it done. Give me Warner over Dean, Younger third, Elam, Bernie, Beard, Sloan, Jacob Cardenas eighth. We saw great U23s by Cardenas. Give me Laird coming back down from heavyweight at Ryder, Dupre, Bonacorsi, and Caffey. And you know what? I mean, give me Warner. You know, I don't know. Give me a team race. Give me something this year at the NCAA championships. Okay. Right now we're sitting at 197. We've picked all the way through. I got Spencer Lee champ. I got Woods champ. I got Warner champ. I got RBY champ. I got Carter champ. I got Brooks champ. Right now we're sitting 3-3, champ on champ right now, going into heavyweight. And then, you know, we'll see what happens at heavyweight. But yeah, and then there's a lot of other weight classes there. But you know, yeah, give me Warner over Dean. Jake Warner, you know, gets there last year, figures it out, you know, knows what the lights are about, and yeah, give him to me. I got Warner, NCAA champion.
Are you guys leveraging this for something? Like, are you guys getting something in return for this? Are you guys plotting against me here? What's going on? You guys.
No, I got Younger at third. That's a great pick. Younger third. He's got Younger fifth, so we're averaging Younger out.
Good job, buddy. Here's your medal. Is what you're doing. You're patronizing me right now.
No,
I got him third.
I got him third. I mean, what do you? That's pretty. That's
that's my guy. I gotta go to bat for him. I got to go to bat for him.
No, I love him.
All right.
I think I'm high on him. I mean, come on. We got him third and he just learned our sport a couple years ago, right?
True.
And I got him ahead of a lot of good guys that have, you know, been wrestling this style since they were in diapers, and this kid's figuring it out fast, and how about this? He'll win an NCAA title before he leaves.
I'll take that. This year.
I believe
fair.
This year.
I believe that.
Agreed.
All right. I don't think their Homer Hawkeye picks can get any more Homer. So why don't we start off with heavyweight? Corby, you go ahead and go first. I don't know who you're going to pick, but please let's not make it a Hawkeye. Corby, go ahead.
No, we're going Tony Cassiopes. Put on some weight. I got Cassiope Schultz in the final. Mason Paris is the guy that's got his number, but I think they could maybe not meet up. Give me Cassiope over Schultz. Yeah, give me a team race this year in Tulsa. I'm ready for it. I think the fans are ready for it. I think wrestling needs it. And yeah, give me Cassiope, give me Schultz, Kirkfleet, Paris, Holger Orndorff, Slavakuski out of Harvard, Elam, And then give me Hendrickson. Give me Fernandez. Your boy Sammy Schuyler, Iowa State. Give me him in the round of 12 as well. So yeah, those are my picks. Give me Cassiope. Um, so I think the team race this year could, it's going to come down to those other weights. You know what I mean? It's going to come down to 49s, 57s, 65s. What happens at those weight classes that could determine the national championship. I hope it does. I'm ready to not have it be over on Friday night. So let's go. Give me Tony Cassiope over Schultz. I don't think I mean, obviously that's not a crazy pick by any means. I think Cassiope's put on some weight this year. You're not going to see abs anymore on Cassiope. You could see at U23s, he's put on some weight, probably 25 to 30 pounds, I would guess. So he's going to be back up there in the range to rise. It's kind of funny how heavyweight went. Everybody watched Kyle win in the 220s, and everybody thought smaller was better. So we kind of saw the smaller guys for a little bit. And now a lot of guys that got smaller are actually trying to get bigger again. You're going to have Boone McDermott, Iowa guy. You guys know Boone. Boone's back up to 260 pounds. He's put on 30, 35 pounds this offseason. So, yeah, that's a guy from Rutgers too that, had some results last year that, is going to not be giving up all the size this year. So it's just kind of weird how we watched heavyweight kind of trend lower, and now guys feel they need to wrestle around 250, 260 to have the success.
You think it's going to get back to big boy season back when we had like McMullen, which he's skinny now. I don't know if you guys have seen him lately, but McMullen and Tony Nelson and a lot of those bigger guys, you think it's going to go trend back to being big again?
I do. I think you're going to see the 255 to 275 guy, where for years, we're watching guys, the last 225 to 240 was a lot of the target ranges for a lot of these heavyweights where they wanted to get to. And now I think, it's trends, right? They watch Kyle, thought, oh, well, guys, I mean, he's a phenom. He's one of the best we've ever seen. So obviously he could have won it. He could have won it unlimited. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put too much stock into that, but that's kind of what happened. And guys got smaller, and I think we'll see guys get bigger. I mean, talk about
what's going to happen
Schultz
when Colton Schultz wins this year. Yeah. How's everyone going to look after he wins? More traditional.
Very well could happen. I got Cassiope Schultz, but you're right. It could happen. Is that your pick, Tyler?
Yeah, I got Schultz winning over Kirk in the finals, but I feel like Colton Schultz is the last traditional heavyweight we've seen come through in a while of the true heavyweight physique.
Him and he's a big bear.
Jordan Wood as well, which he's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Jake, the floor is yours.
Well, I think I'm probably maybe even have more of a reason to be a little bit more Iowa biased. But I do not have Cassiope winning. I have him getting fourth, actually. I think, it'll be interesting to see how this weight kind of plays out throughout the year. But I just don't see him beating Mason Paris or Kirk Fleet, to be honest with you, this year. I know his record against him is extremely good, but I think a healthy Kirk, a healthy Paris is going to be really hard for him to beat. I actually have Cassiope losing to Schultz for third. I have Kirk Fleet beating Paris in the finals. I think, unfortunately, we're not going to see as big of a team race as Corby would like. Just with Kirk, I think he's a guy who's only gotten better. And he's going to continue to do that. He's a great athlete. And then I get Davison, Hilger, Hendrickson, Elam to round out the top 8, but I think, and I still don't think we can rule Gable out. I don't know that I know he hasn't made a for sure decision, but my inside source has told me that he is going to wait till second semester, which leads me to believe he's not coming back. But I know this summer at Fargo, I was told he was 100% coming back. So I think this weight is much more fun without Gable. But obviously, if he's there, he's going to win it.
I don't wish that he comes back personally. I think it's going to be more fun for the fans if he doesn't come back. And that's a compliment to him. because of how good he is. Let's move on, though. Oh, I picked Schultz. I'm going big boy season as well. I'm all in for big boy heavyweights to come back. I wish they would go back to unlimited. Was it Chris Taylor back in the
Yeah,
day?
we
The
need like
champs
three
champ?
50-pounders.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Let's move on to the matches this weekend. It feels good that we can finally move on past previews and predictions. Now we can, I guess, still preview and predict these matches. But why don't we start off with a little Iowa, Wisconsin? I believe it was Corby had these guys as their third and fourth place. I don't remember who he picked as third and who he picked as fourth, but Dean Hamidi hitting the gritty. I was trying to say that. And David Carr. I'm picking David Carr, and I did a little preview show on the Patreon. If you guys don't know, we have a Patreon over at StaleMates, patreon.com/StaleMates. I did a 20-minute preview of this entire duel, so if you want my full thoughts and opinions, you can go check it out there. But I actually have Carr by major decision here. I know that can be kind of bold, but I think Carr is going to be a hungrier version of himself. It's a little bit different than when you're the champ, the reigning champ, and when you're trying to get back to the top of the mountain. He got third last year. I think he opens up the season. Maybe he's going to catch Hamidi off his game a little bit. I'm trying to go a little bit of sidekick and predict things before they happen, but I think David Carr will major Dean Hamidi. Corby, you're giving me a look. You disagree.
Major. Now, I picked Hamidi over Carr for third, fourth. I think I got Carr. I think this week I got Carr. I think Dean's funky. One of those guys that maybe Carr's speed is a little bit too much for him the first time. But I think as if they wrestle again, I think Dean will feel that. I think he'll make adjustments. So, but yeah, give me Carr this weekend. Give me 7-4 Carr, something like that. I'll take Carr. Gotcha. 7-4.
Casey Swiderski, the true freshman. We might as well call this the Swiderski hour for how much I talk about him, but he's going to have his hands full with Zargo, Wisconsin's 41-pounder. He was there last year, NCAA qualifier type guy, round of 12. Maybe something like that. So Zargo's good. I know he's also going to have another tough opponent from Campbell and Shannon Hanna, another NCAA qualifier. So a big weekend for Casey Swiderski, the true freshman. Jake, what are you predicting here?
Yeah, I think Swiderski is going to have a little bit of a coming out party here after a close wrestle off win. I think he's going to beat Zargo. I think it's going to be close. I think you're going to look at a Swiderski get up early, Zargo try to come back late and fall a little bit short. I think Swiderski is just a little too slick. From what I've seen from Zargo is he's relies maybe a little bit too much on his gas tank. So, I mean, I think Swiderski is going to come out and win like a 6-4, 7-5 type of match. And I think people are going to start coming back on the Swiderski train this weekend.
Moving right along, 197, my boy Yonger Bastida versus Braxton Amos. I think most people would agree that Braxton Amos' college career, his debut, didn't maybe go as anticipated. I know that he posted about some personal stuff that was going on, which we all know can be tough to deal with, especially if you're a Division I college athlete. So I think we're going to see a much stronger Braxton Amos this year, probably a more familiar with college wrestling Braxton Amos. I'm picking Yonger, though. No surprise there. Corby, what do you think at this match here? This is a good – this whole duel, Wisconsin, is going to be great, Wisconsin, Iowa State. But I think this is probably one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most. What do you think, Corby?
Yeah, I like this match. I like Yonger. I don't think Amos rides him. I think Yonger can get away. I like Yonger on his feet. I think it's a close match, but give me Yonger in that one. I like Amos though. I think last year at the beginning of the year, trying to get his weight under control, being a 97 kg guy, 213, trying to wrestle 197, having to shrink that body down. Um, last year, he was coming off some Greco competition that I don't believe it was too far from the season starting. So this year, I think you'll see him a better Braxton Amos than we did last year for sure. But I think younger here. Younger is just, I think, still too crafty. He's, pretty wily veteran of, hand fighting. So I like younger.
Jake?
Yeah, I'm with Corby 100%. I think Amos is probably going to show a little bit better version this year, but Younger I think is just a little bit too much on his feet. I think especially Amos going to starts digging underhooks. I mean, he might get inside trip to his back at some point. But I would imagine Younger wins like 2 or 3 takedowns to none. Some of those escapes might make it a little bit closer than the match actually was.
149. I know we're kind of jumping around weights here, but 149, Pinheiro Johnson will get a former Cyclone and Austin Gomez. In the little prediction show that I was telling you guys about, I actually picked Austin Gomez to win by fall here. I think he's going to want to open up his season with a statement. As you guys know, Austin Gomez is a guy who likes to entertain. He likes to please the crowd. Not that he needs any more motivation to win. I think it's kind of weird to be like, oh, he's going to try much harder because he's going to face his former team. But I do think he's going to try to make more of a splash because it is Iowa State. I think that Pinheiro could probably get the first takedown, but then after that, I think Austin Gomez is probably going to launch him. So I'm going Austin Gomez with 16 points. Corby, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he pinned him, but I also wouldn't be shocked if it's, if it's a major decision. But yeah, Gomez is a gamer. He's definitely going to go for it. His mindset, you're right on, no doubt about it. He'll have extra, oomph in this match for sure, facing his old team, just the way it is. And but yeah, give me Gomez. And yeah, I don't think it'll be that close actually. What are you hearing at 33, Zach? Do you know, are we going to see Ramazan? Are we going to see Redding? Because they've got Lamont. That's an interesting matchup. So what are we going to see? Do you know?
I have it down as Redding. We got to see him at the benefit dinner, and he's looking like a 133 pounder, that's for sure. Ramazan was walking around. Ramazan had a really bad injury at the NCAA's last year, something with his elbow or his arm, but I think he's doing better. I don't believe that Ramazan was even in the challenge bracket with Iowa State's wrestle off, so I don't think that we're going to see Ramazan for a while. I think Ramazan, though, down the stretch could be the guy. I would assume there's going to be a wrestle off at a later date, considering Ramazan was an NCAA qualifier last year. Redding is good, though. I mean, Redding would be the guy if at 41 if Swiderski wasn't there. I think it's going to be Redding and Lamont, though, and probably take Lamont at that one.
I'll take Redding.
Okay, New York, a little New York flavor there. Why Redding?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he can ride Lamont. I think he'll have some size on Lamont. Yeah, I like Redding there. This is going to be an unbelievable duel meet. I mean, top to bottom, it's going to be an unbelievable duel meet. Who do we see at 74 for Wisconsin? Do we
is
see
it the Otten or the Otto? What's the 74 pounder's name? It was somebody I'd never seen before.
His name is Josh Otto.
Arrowhead, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Jake, what do you know about him?
But in my opinion, go ahead, Jake.
Oh, I just know that Cade DeVos and Lance Runyon wrestled him all the time. He's a pretty strong, good, hard, tough-nosed kid. He's not super dynamic or anything, but he's a guy who can keep matches close and is going to compete with those top guys just because he's strong, stays in good position. He's going to be a tough out.
I would like them to bring Gaetan with them this weekend. I think this is a duel that Kevin Dresser wants to win. I think he wants to beat Chris Bono. I think there's kind of a friendly rivalry between the two of them. And, it's going to be in Chris Bono's hometown, I believe. So I know we got to interview Dresser this offseason, and we talked about this for a while, and he said that he does want to wreck Bono's homecoming, and kind of a playful jab, but it's kinda how Dresser operates, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought MJ with them, as one of the 5 competitions. That's totally in bounds, right?
Oh, definitely. I think what you could see from Wisconsin too is I think Otto and Rowley are right there, right? Um I think you could see they have 3 matches this weekend, right? Um I had heard Rowley might go, a few months, maybe 6 weeks ago. He could be the guy at 74. So I started looking at their schedule and I seen they had Chattanooga, and I'm thinking, wow, it's probably not a good matchup for the true freshman to go wrestle Rocky Jordan, right? So I was like, man, I don't know about that. So maybe you see them wrestle Otto a duel, right? Maybe he gets a duel. Maybe Rowley gets a duel, right? I think they wrestle Chattanooga and Buffalo, and then they wrestle Iowa State. So I don't know who we could see. Rowley, we could see Otto against Broderson, maybe. I don't know who we see here, but I think they definitely bring Rowley with him and use him for the matches. I um snuck a look at the Michigan State, and he's not registered for Michigan State Open, so that made me believe that as a true freshman, if he's not registered for that Open first weekend, he's probably traveling with the team. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Rowley get a match this weekend. And then if he performs well, depending, you could maybe see him in this duel. I don't know, but it also could be Otto, who I believe Otto could be a 4th-year kid by now, 3rd or 4th year maybe. Like he said, he's a big, long kid, good upper body, been around the block. So, yeah, should be interesting. Should be a great dual meet. And then, I mean, Skylar Hilger as well. I mean, people look for Hilger to All-American. Some people, got Skylar in the teens. Dresser said Skylar had a good off season. So, I know they've wrestled in the past, and I believe Hilger's, beat him. So we'll see. See how that goes down. What else do you like this weekend besides, that dual meet?
One other thing that I wanted to talk about, well, are you wanna go do you wanna get into the opens, or you wanna get into, do you wanna get in Nebraska, North Dakota State?
Um, I mean, yeah, we could. I mean, if you want, I know we could see Robin Franek this weekend, which is, I mean, a very interesting match, as well as Samuelson and Munoz. So those are 2 that we could see. And we have the opens. So the Southeast Open, we've been able to get some registration, and it'll be Ventresca and Flanagan. They wrestled. Ventresca won the first wrestle off. Then they wrestled again. Ventresca won in overtime. Then they wrestled another one, win overtime. They put an hour on the clock, said on your feet, takedown wins. After 10 minutes, nobody had a takedown, so they called it a draw. So they're both registered, as well as Jack Wagner, UNI guy that you guys very well familiar with there in Iowa. He's at UNC now. He beat Spencer Moore in the wrestle off. He's probably going to be the guy. And then we got some high school kids. We got Cooper Hilton and McGowan, right? We got Mark Anthony McGowan and Cooper Hilton both entering at 125 in the open division. So that'll be interesting. Latona bumped up a weight now. He's at 33. How's he going to do? Melendez and Hernandez are both there. Melendez pins Hernandez in the wrestle off in a 0-0 match. So they're in the bracket. That'll be interesting. Crook, a freshman out of Florida, beats Colin Girardi in the wrestle off. Looks like Crook could be the guy. They're both in the bracket, along with another Iowa guy you guys are aware of, Zach Price. Zach Price is now down at Gardner Webb. He's going to be in this bracket, along with Dylan Cedeno of Virginia. And the kid that I think is probably going to win the bracket this weekend is Canadian kid Lachlan McNeil, UNC. He's in the bracket. And then we talked about, when we went through the picks, we got Lewis, we got Lout, both in at 174. A lot of the other opens, the registrations are still locked. You can't get into them yet. So we're not 100% sure who we will see. But if the Michigan State Open draws the starters, it's going to be awesome. There's at least 4 to 5 ranked guys in every weight if you send your starters. It just is hard to determine who we are going to see and who we are not, since we don't have registration, and we probably won't get it till the big registration list. I believe we could see it early Saturday morning, so before the tournament, maybe a couple hours before. So it's just hard to talk about those opens when we don't have a registration.
Well, let's wrap up this show. Before we do, I want to see how good you guys are. This was not on the docket. I'm going to throw you guys for a loop, but the answer to this question is up for interpretation, and I'll go first. I want to hear you guys' craziest prediction for the weekend. In my opinion, me picking Gomez to pin Panero Johnson is probably my craziest pick of the weekend. I kind of hope I'm wrong. Actually, I really hope that I'm wrong. So, to me, I think it's going to happen, but I think it's kind of crazy because Panero's really good as well. Who wants to go second?
Man, that's a tough one. I think my big prediction would probably have to be Hamidi over Carr. I don't think I'm going to go crazy and pick him to pin him or anything, but I think a lot of people would be surprised, if not shocked, if Hamidi beats Carr. And I don't know that I'm predicting it, but like you're talking like a big headline there, that would be a Hamidi over Carr. I think that's a match not many people are going to pick. It wouldn't shock me. It would surprise me a little bit, though.
Tyler?
Yeah, looking at everything laid out here, that's the one I actually was going to go with, too, for a possible landmine out of the matches. I think Hamidi could get a decision over Carr as a likely upset for this weekend.
Corby?
I'm not going to go crazy with this weekend as far as predictions go, but like I said, I like Lachlan McNeil to win the Open at 41. Give me, man.
McGowan? You touching McGowan?
Redding over. No, I don't think McGowan wins that Open. My opinion out of that Open, I like Ventresca. I think Eddie Ventresca is way better than people know. Jersey kid. But yeah, I like Ventresca there. I think people would consider this an upset. I mean, Redding over Lamont, right? I mean, I said that earlier. I think Redding beats Lamont.
Not that you have to twist my arm for that one, but you're kind of swaying me over that way. I kind of forgot how good Redding is. And Lamont has struggled.
Well, you did drive a van.
I know, but I just it's been a while since we've seen Zach Redding out there, and he was somebody that I was like, him and Tarakina coming in right in their true freshman year and starting like they did and qualifying for the NCAA tournament like they did. You kind of forget how good that they were. And like I said, Taylor Lamont has struggled at 33 in the past, so it's not crazy now that you talk about it. I kind of want to switch my answer, but I'm not going to.
And you remember you're seeing Redding at 41. You saw Redding at 41 last as well. So you're kind of looking at those.
He came in at 33
too, right?
though, I believe. So he came in at 33.
Yeah, he did.
41. He's back down to 33. Yes. So it's interesting. Mm-hmm. I'll say that. All right. If you guys don't have anything else to add on here, we can go ahead and wrap this up. If you guys like this show, please drop a comment. Let us know how crazy these picks were or weren't. Let Corby know that he is a Hawkeye homer on this episode, but it's fine.
Oh,
it's fine.
No way.
It's fine. Jake too. Tyler, you're suspect as well. I'm the only one real out here in these streets. I'm the only realistic person. And no, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for watching so much. Shout out to Barbarian Apparel, and we will see you guys next week.